guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing Comic Uno episode 41, and I have a lot of comics to review, 18 in total. So let's get started with this. I have a couple of digital, some actually Marvel and DC books I got digitally, which I'll get into as I start the countdown. So before my worst pick of the week, I do want to mention a comic I actually got for free from my comic book store, which was Hellboy, the 20th anniversary sampler. The reason I got this free was they didn't have Rogues Rebellion, so they gave me Hellboy and they also gave me Iron Patriot thing. So thank you to my comic book store for that. So I was very thankful for that, but I didn't want to put in a countdown because I don't really know much about Hellboy, so I don't think it would be fair if I rated it. But overall, I think it was fun. I like the artwork for it. I think it fit really well, obviously because the art for Hellboy that they usually use is kind of a gritty art. I like kind of the comic strip they were making fun of. They were making fun of Peanuts and all that. I thought that was pretty funny. So there's like fun parts here, but nothing that kind of blew my mind. Say, I gotta read Hellboy now. It wasn't totally new reader friendly, but I think if you've been reading Hellboy, this would be a fun issue for you guys to get. I think it was a little bit on the expensive side though, but there are a lot of stories here. So yeah, this might be a collector's edition for you if you like the series. And I was glad I got a chance to give a little sample to Hellboy because I usually don't have the chance to read it. And I don't think I would have given the chance if I didn't get it. So I'm glad I got that. So let's get into the worst pick of the week now and get into the countdown. So number 17 is something I'm very happy is ended now, which is Marvel Knights X-Men issue 5. I honestly just been picking up this issue in this series because it was almost over when I decided to drop it. So I was like, why stop halfway through? Why not have it all in my collection? It's Kitty Pryde, so at least I got that. It was okay. It's not the worst thing I've ever read in my life, but the art makes it a little cluttered. It's good art. Like, I like the art, but it doesn't really fit for this. Honestly, I was really bored throughout the whole issue. It felt like a lot of dialogue I didn't really care about. It's about these two mutants who end up becoming friends in the end, saying, hey, Rogue used to be like you, so join the X-Men. Come along, even though you kind of made us suffer for 5 issues. And that's it. That's really going on. This could have been accomplished in a one-shot. It really did not need 5 issues to talk about. There's some cool Kitty moments. They could have used more, like her ninja stuff. You know, that would have been interesting. I like the team up between Rogue, Wolverine, and Kitty. I think it's a fun team up. But other than that, it's really, honestly, bored me. And it made me want to stop reading. Maybe because I read 17 comics, 18 comics this week, back to back, all day. That could be a reason, but, yeah, so maybe the boring ones really showed out to be boring, and that was Wolverine X-Men. I just didn't like it. Marvel, Knights and the X-Men. I don't know, I'm glad it's over. I'm just really happy I'm not picking that up anymore. Alright, so number 16 is, hold on, one dropped. Okay. Is 8+X issue 18, another series that's ending, but I usually don't get this one. I got it because it was last issue, and Kitty Pryde was in it. You see a trend here. I keep getting these Kitty Pryde series. But don't worry, there are good Kitty Pryde stories. Just saying, I get everything Kitty Pryde, so that's why. This wasn't too bad. It's 2 stories. One story was just like, alright, you really didn't need this. It was Captain America and Cyclops fighting, and that's pretty much it. The art was actually pretty good for both stories. I think it was probably the same artist because it does look a lot similar. So art was pretty good. I would actually like this art in like a good story, but the story just was really lackluster for both of them, especially the Captain America Cyclops one. Captain America doesn't even come in until like halfway through the issue, and all they do is fight. They're not teaming up. They're fighting with each other. Literally, I think there's like 4 pages of them. So if you're looking for them to team up, they don't. And then the next one is interesting if you're a Avengers Arena fan, probably, because Kitty Pryde and Vision are trapped in Murder World. They find out Arcade's not behind it. It's one of the robot people that was part of Avengers Arena, and it felt very lackluster, the ending, because we don't really know what happens next. They're just like, oh, don't kill yourself. Stay. And then, like, well, bring us back to Earth. We kind of need to go back there. Like, bring us back to our minds, because they're obviously hooked up to these machines. So that's what happens. It's okay. Like, I like their interaction. I thought it was kind of funny. Because they didn't have their you know, phasing powers. So Kitty's like, well, my second mutant power is stating the obvious. So I thought that was kind of funny. It made me chuckle. So it's not horrible, but it, you know, it's kind of on the boring side. I felt very generic, both those stories, especially the second story. The second story really bored me. The art's okay. I gotta give it 2.5. It wasn't that great. It's not worth picking up. It really isn't. It's much of a filler issue, which is why A+X is getting canceled. I'm surprised it didn't get canceled earlier. Every issue is a filler. So unless you really like the characters like I do, when Kitty has an issue, I usually get it. Other than that, it's really not worth it. Alright, I think we are up to number 15, which is a digital comic, and that is The Bunker, issue 2. Not a bad comic. I liked it, but I don't think I liked it enough to say, hey, let me pick up issue 3. I liked issue 1 enough to say, hey, let's pick up issue 2, because it introduced some cool characters, but I don't really know where the story is going. It's about these notes that they all have about their future, and that they have to follow it to avoid this future to have no good food, it seems like. That's what's going on with the story. We learned, I guess, a little bit about the characters, but it really seems like the same thing that was going on with issue 1. Nothing too interesting going on. So, art is pretty cool. I think it's pretty unique. It's 3 stars. It wasn't bad. I think it's up to you guys if you like the first issue enough to pick up the second issue, but it's nothing like, oh my god, go pick up The Bunker. Which issue 1 I felt a little bit more passionate about it. Issue 2 is like, I see what direction it's going in. So I think I am going to drop it now, and it was okay, you know. Alright, number 14 is another Comic Frontline exclusive. It is The Flash, issue 29. It's sad to see the series for the story arc be so low. Mostly because the arc is very fillerish. You know Buccellato is going to be leaving the series after the story arc, and it seemed like between writers, maybe they're trying to figure out a writer, they're like, stay for the story arc, that way we get Vendetti go on. That's what it kind of seemed like to me, so, yeah. The Flash, it's about this, you know, murderer from like 100 years ago, 200 years ago, who's related to Barry, and we think that Barry's father figure, who's the chief of police, is actually his father. So, in the end, we find out he's not, and they're keeping a secret about the mother's death. But I have like this feeling that the chief of police is definitely the murderer, and I guess he's best friends with the father, so the father, or maybe they're brothers or something, I don't know. Be interesting if they're brothers. Maybe that's why they're blood related. But not, you know, father and son. I think it would be interesting if the father, Barry's father, is keeping that secret, and I think hopefully Vendetti would pick that up, because it's really the only interesting thing that was going on with this story arc is that premise. But the real story arc, the actual story of this 200-year person trying to kill everybody was not interesting. Like, from issue 1, that was not interesting. And then the art is very dark and very heavy on the inks. So that's another thing that I don't think works with The Flash. So, yeah, Flash is a very light series, and it contrasts with these light colors but dark inking, which really weirded me out throughout the story arc. So I'm glad this story arc is over. It's okay. There's some cool stuff here again with the whole father, the mother's murder, which is going to keep going on, which I kind of wish Buccellato and Manapool ended with their arc. You know, tell us the answer and then move on. But, you know, it's always been since Barry Allen, Prenup 2, who killed the mother. You know, that's always been a question. So, yeah, I'm going to give it 3 stars. It just was very generic, and hopefully as Vendetti picks it up, be the series that we love again, or it might fail. I don't know. I'm really nervous about that. Alright, so number 13 is another Comic Frontline exclusive, which is The Wake, issue 7, which is surprising this is so low, because just 2 issues ago was like my pick of the week. So this issue I think was a little bit more of a filler issue for The Wake. We learn a little bit more about our main character of part 2, Leeward. You get to see a little bit more of her character, how her father died. But, you know, nothing really gets accomplished here that much. You know, we learn, I guess, a little bit more about this government, or really don't care about who this government is. And then she goes underground to find these other people, I guess, who are trying to find this golden net that she's trying to find, because she heard the message from our part 1 main character, Lee. So she's trying to follow that and see if she could save the world, which Lee and that science group was trying to do from the first part. So I'm really excited to see that all intertwine. But this is more of a point A to point B issue. Nothing too special will happen here. And compared to the issues that did come out, I thought this was a little bit weaker. So I'm going to give it 3 stars. It was okay. I feel like you could skip this one. Or maybe, I would say pick it up if you've been reading The Wake. You know, there are some stuff that are here, especially the cliffhanger, that you might want to know. But, nothing too interesting happened here, in my opinion. So I'm going to give that 3 stars. Alright. Number 12 is The Amazing X-Men, issue 5. If you like Nightcrawler, you might be really disappointed that this is so low on my list. I'm not a humongous Nightcrawler fan. I kind of got tired of the story arc, like, after issue 2. And why I was hanging on to it, because it's as much of the Wolverine X-Men Volume 1 humor that we were going to get with Jason Aaron in this series, because it's mostly the same characters. So I was looking forward to that. I like Firestar. I wanted to follow a little bit of her story. This is the only series we could see her in. And I followed it because of that. But it doesn't seem like we're going to see these characters shine at all besides Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler, fights his father in this issue. He wins, but also loses at the same time because he's not in heaven anymore. And as much as he wanted to be with his friends, he kind of wanted to be in heaven a little bit more. So he kind of had to sell his soul in a way because of that. And will he go back to heaven now that he left if he died again? That's a question. And for someone that's so religious, that's something very important to him. So that'll be interesting to see, to explore. But I feel like this story could really started in his own series of Nightcrawler. Now we have 2 series that are Nightcrawler focus, which is really weird. I mean, one's a Chris Claremont series, so if you're a big Nightcrawler fan, especially older Nightcrawler fan, you might really be excited for that. But why not have this pirate story there, or his revival there? And there's a little bit of cop-out to bring him back. It's like, well, I just crossed the portal, I know I died, but whatever. I mean, it's comic books, that's gonna happen. But, it's so recent, and maybe because I'm not a big Nightcrawler fan, I'm seeing this a little bit more, but I don't know. I think I'm going to drop it. I know I'm going to drop it, honestly. Because the next issue seems like another Nightcrawler issue. Even though the story arc's over, it's going to be a Mystique Nightcrawler issue. I like Nightcrawler, I do, but I don't like him as a solo person. I'm not going to follow his story as a solo person. But the art's beautiful for this series. I'm going to give it that. Really like the art. Wish it focused on other characters, though. It's not Nightcrawler and the X-Men. It's the Amazing X-Men. So I think that is a problem with this. I'm going to give it a 3.5. I think it's an okay issue, but I'm not getting the next issue, especially with so many series coming out. I do have to drop some series, and those are the ones I don't feel as passionate about, and right now that's Amazing X-Men. Maybe there'll be a story arc that intrigues me. Maybe there'll be a new Firestar story arc that I'll pick up, but for now, I'm going to leave this series on hiatus for a little while till we get out all the Nightcrawler stuff, especially since he's getting his own series. Like, if he wasn't getting his own series, I understand, but he's getting his own series, guys. Alright, number 11 is Real Heroes, issue 1, which I'm disappointed that this is a little lower on my list than I wanted it to be. I wanted this to be like a really cool series, which it was. I really like the premise of this series. It's about these celebrities who play superheroes in the movies who end up having to be superheroes. But the way they did it in this issue is really weird. Now there's this robot that's part of the premiere that ends up being real. They zap him to a different dimension, which is actually a dimension of their movies. And their counterparts died. Like the Olympus people, they all die. And now they have to become heroes. So I thought that was really weird the way they did it. I mean, I like that they're heroes, and I think they could live in this world for maybe a story arc and then go back to their regular world, and that's how they get their powers. I think that would be a good direction. But to stay in this world, I don't know. That would be like a whole generic superhero story we've already seen. Like, I like the idea that these celebrities had to be heroes, and I really like the character development here. I liked every character here. Is one thing I really want to keep with this series, and one of the reasons. And with indie comics like this, you really need to like the character by issue 1. I think Real Heroes did a great job at that. The art is good. Coloring, not so much. It's very orange. Every page has some sort of orange. I think it makes everything blend. I wanted stuff to pop out a little bit more with the action. It didn't because of this orange background, which I've seen a lot with Brian Hitch's stories. And also with America Has Power was the same way. One of the reasons I did drop it was the blending artwork. But I love his ideas. I think they're really unique. So I'm going to keep this for issue 2. I don't think I'll get it printed. I'll probably get it digitally the next one. But I want to see where it goes. But if it seems like it's still going this parallel world weirdness, I might drop it. But I think you should give it a chance. I think the premise is really cool, but you might want to wait maybe 3 issues to see where it goes, because I don't know. I'm a little curious about it. Alright, so that was number 11, so now we're up to number 10, which is Superior Spider-Man Team Up, issue 11. Cool issue. I thought it was an okay issue. Really like the art. I think that's what really pulled me in for this one. I think it worked, and surprisingly, this is now on my pull list. You know, at first I was just getting Superior Team Up, or, oh, it's a Goblin Nation tie-in. Oh, wait, now we have this, you know, so I'm really intrigued with all the Team Up stories. It's not one-shotty. It feels like a really cool arc, so I do like what they're doing with Team Up, and it's something different than the previous Team Up series that felt very one-shotty, like A+X in a way. So, yeah, I like this issue. It's Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus becoming buddy-buddy, and in the end, talking about love, interest, and everything. And then Green Goblin, being the good friend he is, on the verge of murdering his, Dr. Octopus's ex-fiancée. So I thought it was a fun issue. I mean, there's some boring spells, like, alright, kind of get to the point. But yeah, it's still a really fun issue that I did enjoy. So I'm going to give it a 3.5. I think you should pick it up. If you're a Green Goblin fan, you'll love this. As a Green Goblin fan, I really did enjoy it, seeing Norman again, and seeing a past story. I think it fit very well with Superior Spider-Man. I think it works, so I liked it. And art also pulled you in a lot with this issue. So I'm going to give it that 3.5. That was number 10. Alright, number 9 is Rogues Rebellion, issue 6. Now, I already explained why I got this digitally, because my comic book store didn't have it, but I did get Hellboy because of it. So with Rogues Rebellion, I'm not going to show the cover. It's just like too much hassle to go on Comixology to do that right now. So with Rogues Rebellion, I think it's been an up and down battle with this miniseries, but I thought it ended pretty well. I really liked the overall story of it. I think there were a lot of issues where they fought the villain and then ran away. I've been saying that a lot because that's been every issue. I think this could have been cut down to a 3-issue miniseries. Don't think it needed all 6 issues. They could have really told the story in 3 issues. But I like the ending. Glider's back in a way that was weird. One of the old rogues played the flute. She's alive. Cool. I mean, it makes Glider alive, I guess. I did like her character a lot. And honestly, I just like the premise of the rogues in general. They're not really villains. They do the wrong thing to have their own agenda, but they're not villains. And I think that's proven a lot here. And I can't wait until they do team up with Captain Cold, whenever that is, now that he's joined the Justice League, or is going to join the Justice League. Overall, really, I like this issue. I thought it was good. I'm going to give it a 3.5. The art was good. Again, it was a little weird about the flute playing thing, but overall, it was a cool story. It was a good ending. So I'm going to give it a 3.5. Alright, now we are up to number 8, which is Silver Surfer, issue 1. Cool issue. I liked it. You know, some people don't like Allred's art. I know people that don't like Allred's art. For me, I don't mind it. I do like his art. I think it works. And I can see why there's personal preference to it. Because it's kind of a weirder art. You know, for me, there's abstract art that I don't really like. And, you know, it's personal preference. And for me, I don't mind Allred's art, so I was kind of excited for this. And then Dan Slott doing a character besides Spider-Man. I've read other stuff from him, too. But it's cool to see more of a recent story from him besides Spider-Man. To see what he would do with the character. With Silver Surfer, I think this is a very good jumping on point. If you never heard of the character, it explains him very well. And we learn about this new girl who never left her hometown and now is taken from her this hometown to space. We don't know exactly why. Seems like they're connected, maybe because of space doesn't, you know, time's not relevant, so maybe that's why. They were supposed to meet, you know, it's going to be confusing space stuff, but maybe they were supposed to meet, and this is why, because they never met each other before, but they're important to each other. So I do like that aspect. I think it's really cool science-wise that they did that. So I'm looking forward to seeing her character. I think her character is very developed here, and obviously if you never read anything with Silver Surfer, he's very developed here. I liked it. I think the story I felt a little bored with was maybe the main story arc with this mother world with Intercom. I think that was a little bit more of the boring side. Again, maybe not being as big of a space fan, I didn't like it, but I liked where the characters were going most of all in this issue. I liked the art. I actually liked the Intercom's world. I thought that was pretty unique and different, so I'm going to give it 3.5. I'm not excited to pick up the next issue. That's one disappointment. Like, I like this issue, but it's not like I can't wait until issue 2, but I hope it does go that way, and we'll see as the series goes on if I'm going to keep to it. So I did like it, and we'll see where it goes. Alright, now we are up to number 7, which is Hawkeye, issue 18, which I'm a little disappointed this is low, but and this is a story why I got digitally. I totally forgot to put it on my pull list somehow. I must have missed it. So it wasn't on my pull list, and I saw like a review on comic book resource. I'm like, whoa, well, Hawkeye, like that didn't come out this week. This must be like an advanced, and it's like, no, it came out this week. So I was stupid, I forgot to get it, so I ended up getting it digitally. But at least I saw that, or else I would have totally forgot Hawkeye. I'd be like, where's issue 18? So I'm glad I caught it in time, that I could actually do reviews, especially since it's a Kate story. Now, one of the reasons I really like Hawkeye is because of Kate's character, because I've been a Kate fan before the Hawkeye series, since Young Avengers, so I've been a big Kate fan. I like her Los Angeles story. We learn a little bit more about her secret cat food person. And that was a disappointment in this issue. It was actually like, you know, I love the mystery of that character. I feel like he was revealed so quickly. I think they could have given little tidbits. And once he was revealed, his story is honestly really boring. That was the boring part of this issue, is learning how he was connected to Madame Mask. Like, I like the idea of Madame Mask. I think she's a cool villain. But the way he was connected to her was really stupid. I mean, there was times here that I really enjoyed. I really liked Kate's friends, the gay couple neighbors. I think they were really funny here. I think they were fun here. And they had some great lines, so I liked them. I liked the ending of Madame Mask just not liking Kate. It's like, well, you're going to have to stay in Los Angeles, so I'm going to kill Clint. So that at least is bringing her back to New York. That's where I think the series is at its best, is when they're together. As much as I love Kate having her own story, they could do that in New York. They could have these one-shot stories where it's just Kate in New York. But let's see them team up, too. I think that's where the series is at best. And I think it's confusing that they have these two different stories going on right now. So I'm going to give it 3.5. I thought it was a good issue. I thought the art was pretty fun, actually. There's this point where Kate gets the cat food's cat, and he's a Hellcat, and the face she makes is like, I hate this cat. So there's some really fun moments here, but it's not one of the best Hawkeye issues I've ever read. They were that boring spell with that mystery guy, though. He disappointed me. I wanted him to be more interesting, and he was not. So I'm going to give it 3.5, almost a 4. Didn't quite make it, but I'm excited to see where the story goes, because I do like Kate's story. I just think this is a little bit more of a weaker one for her. Alright, next is number 6. Red Lanterns, issue 29. Cool story. Actually, this was one of the last issues I read, which, you know, wasn't because I was not excited for it. It's just sometimes I like something in the middle to be in the end instead of like an issue I'm not excited for to be in the end. That would kind of suck. So in this issue, we get to see Supergirl being a Red Lantern, her discovering what that means. It means she has to be a Red Lantern forever. She can't take this ring off unless the Blue Lanterns were alive, and they're not. So she's going to be a Red Lantern forever. She tries to talk to Superman. Superman's like, hey, I've talked to you a lot. In a nice way. He says this in his Superman way. He's like, I talked to you a lot, but it seems like you're going to have to deal with this yourself. And, you know, Guy, you seem like a nice guy. I didn't do that on purpose. But anyways, you seem like a nice guy, so you take care of her, see where it goes. And he's doing that for the benefit of Supergirl. So as a Supergirl fan, I'm not thinking this as Supergirl. Like, this is not my Supergirl. I'm telling you that right now. That's the reason I dropped Supergirl. I don't really like this character that much, but at least it's an interesting story arc. It's something different. But I don't think about it as Supergirl. I really don't. I think about it as like this new character in a way that kind of resembles Supergirl. She's just completely different. I don't like how mad she is, even though that's how you become a Red Lantern. It's a little bit annoying. It feels very teen angst to the max, which is really weird. But we'll see where it goes. I don't know. It's interesting, but I don't know how far this could really go. I think it could be interesting for like another 3 issues, but it could get really stale really quickly if they don't advance this story arc, and I could see that happening. I don't want her to be part of the Red Lanterns forever. I like this as a story arc. I just don't think she fits there. I don't. That's just my opinion. I like this issue, though. I thought it was actually a really good issue. Better than the Supergirl issue with Silver Banshee, which I feel like you had to read the Silver Banshee arc, which I actually did with Supergirl to kind of understand that one. But still, I don't know where it's going. But it's good. I like this issue, and I'm taking it issue by issue. So I think I gave this 3.5. So yeah, it was an okay issue, and we'll see where Red Lanterns go. But it's actually the best Green Lantern series out there right now, but that's not really saying much. Alright. I think we're up to either number 6 or top 5. We are up to top 5 now. Okay. Top 5. Number 5. I dropped one of the cards, which is great. I hate when that happens. Okay. Number 5 is Uncanny Avengers, issue 18. I got this at whim, and honestly, I thought it was a really solid, fun series, or fun issue. It's something unique. It's about how there's all mutants in the world and no humans. And now there is a human between Wasp and Havoc. They have a daughter, and I think her name's like, I don't know her name, but yeah, she's the only human here, and they have to protect her because the mutants are out to get her. And I really like the story because it's just classic X-Men, where it's going against a brotherhood. Art was great in this issue. I think that really boosted up the issue for me. I wanted to read more about Wasp. I'm glad I am reading more with Wasp. I think it was just fun. I really enjoyed it. It's in Earth X. Yes, I know Spider-Girl's in it, but that's not the real Spider-Girl, so don't worry. It's another version of May. I have read some of the Earth X stuff. But, yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was really solid. I had fun with it, and it makes me want to pick up the next issue. Like, I don't know if Uncanny Avengers will be on my pull list, because there's other issues I didn't quite like. But so far, I really like the direction they're going. I thought it was really new reader-friendly. Some of these issue ones really haven't been. Uncanny Avengers was, I jumped in, understood everything that was going on, and I liked it. So, 4 stars. I was surprised that I liked this issue. It was good. And I will pick up the next issue, see where it goes. Alright, number 4 is Furious, issue 3, which again, I don't have the comic with me. But I've been shocked with this series. I know a lot of people on Frontline don't really like the series that much, but I really do like it. I don't know, maybe because I like celebrities a lot. Like, I follow celebrity stuff, not as much as I used to, but I do like that stuff. So, and I like entertainment, so, it's something I really like. So, I do like that this character that's Lindsay Lohan-like is a superhero, but has this hard life. We look at this father that was an asshole, and he kills himself. And, you know, this girl's gone through a lot, you know, and I don't know exactly how she got her powers, which is really interesting, which intrigues me throughout the series. And I think there's only 2 more issues left, so I'd be disappointed if we don't find out how she got her powers. That was one disappointment I had with the Mara miniseries like a year ago, which I really liked overall, but we never found out how she got her powers. So I hope that doesn't go with Furious. I actually want to find out how she was a celebrity in this girl who's going down the tubes to this girl who is always angry, and that's how she has her powers. And this issue is about how she get captured by this weird-ass guy, and he tries to kill her, and she has to control her anger to try to get out of this. And I thought it was really intriguing throughout the whole issue. I was intrigued. I liked it. The only scene I didn't really like is the ending. There's this new character with red hair. Seems related to Furious. We don't really know if she is. It was a little weird. They could have maybe left that to the next issue to explain her character a little bit more. But hopefully we get to see a little bit more connections with Furious and her celebrity-ness, which, or at least the public seeing that more of that connection. Or let's see how she got her powers. That would be a little interesting. So, really solid issue though. I liked it. I'm going to give it 4 stars. I've been liking the series, so I really hope it goes farther than 5 issues, because I would really like to see this as ongoing again, just explore more about who this character is. Alright, now we're up to number 3, and I'm going to say my top 3 was very hard to pick of the week, because I really loved all 3 of these issues, and if it was another week, each of them could have been pick of the week. So it was very hard to organize this. So I just picked my numbers in a way that I felt I enjoyed the reveal better, I enjoyed this read more, and we will see what got number 1, but let's see what got number 3 first. That is Guardians of the Galaxy, issue 13. The last part, Trials of Jean Grey, which is surprising because a lot of the Trials of Jean Grey stuff has been on my bottom, and this issue really surprised me. Not saying Trials of Jean Grey in general was great. I really liked this issue though, and where it went. Because the last issue we get to see Jean Grey says she's guilty, and we find out she cops that out so much in this issue. She's like, I'm guilty, but truly, we're all guilty. Because I'm the face of the Phoenix doesn't mean I am the Phoenix. So I did like that, and she goes all different type Phoenix force, not really a Phoenix, but a different type of power source. She becomes this reddish, pinkish new power, and she becomes a new being in a way, and that's her new power, and then everyone's shocked. She's like, what the hell's going on? Have we ever seen this? And then Kitty's like, I've never seen it before, and obviously Kitty's going to be the one with the X-Men knowledge here, because she's the oldest X-Men here, which is weird to say. She was the youngest X-Men. only in 1980s. But yeah, so we get to see that she has this new power and everyone's shocked by it. And now in the end, they get out of the whole trial and set Kid Gladiator's father straight. And she's happy she has these powers, but is she truly happy? Now Cyclops leaves to go with his father because he has his own series going on. I might pick up the first issue, we'll see. I'm still a little hesitant on it. But he leaves, and now everyone's like, whoa, now what do we do? And Jean's very upset because that's the person she loves. Come on, that's the person she'll marry. And now her power is coming out. So what does this power truly mean? Is it an evolution thing? Will it take over her like the Phoenix? I'm really intrigued. I thought it was something really shocking, something fresh, which who knew we'll get something fresh with the X-Men. There's some really cool moments here. I love the Kitty Peter moment. Yeah, I don't know why Kitty loved all these Peter people, but hey, I thought it worked really well. I thought they had really good chemistry, so I like that. But yeah, the Jean Grey moment really surprised me here, and I think this is as good as that first issue of Trials of Jean Grey that excited me for Trials of Jean Grey, and then the whole middle where there was no trial. But it progresses where the X-Men are going. I did like it. I think it was less clutter than all the other issues because it was less of the Guardians and more of the X-Men, which I think Trials of Jean Grey should have been, and with the Guardians' help. I think maybe it could have been just Peter's help, but I love hearing I'm Groot very randomly throughout the issue. Art, of course, is what made this issue too. Sarah Pichelli does a great job with Guardians and anything she does with the facial expressions. I think that's something that really made the issue for me also. So I gotta give this 4.5. Very close to being my pick of the week. As I said, all three of these issues were wonderful, so I really loved it. I liked this a lot, so pick this up. Definitely the best Trials of Jean Grey issue, and I'm excited to see where both Guardians and all new X-Men go. And I guess Cyclops goes too, because it'll be interesting to see all these groups separated. Alright, number 2 is Survive, issue 1. Ultimate Comics, I think it hits out of the park with every issue I read, and I'm surprised it didn't make pick of the week, but it was very close. So with this issue, we get to see the death of Captain America, and how people react to it, which is shocking that we didn't really get to see a lot of Miles Morales, so a lot of Miles Morales fans, I think you might be a little disappointed, but I think they're waiting for like the father reveal, which is something I was expecting here to be in his own series, which makes sense. But it's mostly really coming together of the Ultimates, which also makes sense. S.H.I.E.L.D's down, S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't exist anymore, and we get to see the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm disappointed with that and needs a lawyer because of all, she didn't really do anything wrong, but she's the head, she's the public figure that did something wrong. So when Captain America died, everyone's upset, people want to blame someone. And then we get to see a really cool moment between Reed and Sue. Reed wants to make himself better. Obviously he's an evil guy, but after seeing his future, after seeing his daughter, and he just wants to become with Sue, he wants to go with Sue, come back to her. And Sue doesn't, Sue obviously is a very strong character here, and she doesn't want to go with him at all. It's like, I don't trust you, and she doesn't back down. And Reed's like, all right, I understand that. Well, let's try to make things right. And she's still very denying about that, but I'm sure that's going to continue throughout Ultimate FF, which I'm very excited for. And then we get to see a really cool Kitty Pryde moment, which I kind of guessed already. She goes back to her mom just to sleep, sleep everything off. She hasn't gone back to her house in obviously a long time. She's with the whole Utopia thing. And what I said throughout the Cataclysm, I said she's finally going to be a public figure of saving the world. And that's going to mean something to mutants. Because Ultimate X-Men was all about politics of who's the head, who wasn't, who's the figurehead, who's not. And who's a public figure. And Kitty's always been a public figure of mutants since, Peter's death. She's been the public figure. And through the whole World War X stuff, she's been the head of the X-Men. And she makes a deal with the president and say, hey, I want to work together. I don't think mutants should be looked at different, and you did something great here, and I think we could work on this. So she's like, okay, I'll work with you, and she's going to be part of the Ultimates now to even give a brighter side to the mutants. So I see this being a very positive light to the Ultimate Universe in general, which I'm very, for the mutants, which I'm excited for, because I always said, like, why does the Ultimate Universe hate mutants? I think if it's something, why do humans hate mutants in the Ultimate Universe? That's something different. Ultimate Universe is all about change, all about difference, and all about, going off on the edge. And I think that's something important, make people accept mutants. And I think that'll be exciting to see. And so, again, something different from the regular universe. So I'm excited to see that journey. It is a long journey ahead, but they started that journey with the last Ultimate Comics XMen series. And I'm sure as the all-new Ultimates continue, we'll see that happen even more. So I like this issue. Again, it was a very good issue. I think there are some great emotional moments here between Reed, between Kitty, and a lot of things that if you're an Ultimate fan, I've been an Ultimate fan for a long time, we get a lot of great conclusions here. So really great issue. I'm going to give it 4.5. Only thing I didn't really like was the art's a little cartoony. I think if the art was a little better, I don't know if it would be picking my week, but I think it would have been a little closer to #1, but I don't know. The art was a little on the cartoony side. I would have liked the other art to show more of the emotion and more of that. I think it's David Marquez who usually does art. I would have liked his version a little better. But what is #1? Let's take a dramatic sip of water. All right, #1 is Superior Spider-Man, issue 30. I don't think I've had a Superior Spider-Man as my pick of the week in a really long time, even if ever. I feel like I have, but it's been a really long time. Now, why did this win out of a great Guardians of the Galaxy issue or a great Survive issue? I think the shockers and the reveals felt better to me in this issue. It felt, impactful as a Spider-Man fan. I just really loved the reveals, and it made me excited. This issue made me more excited than Survive and Guardians, as much as I was really excited about those issues. Again, all three of them were very close, but Superior just kind of made it for me. So I am going to spoil things here. I didn't spoil things in my other review, but I kind of have to spoil things to explain why I really liked it, so there will be spoilers here. So in this issue, we get to see two big things. We get to see who is the Green Goblin. And it's such a shocker who the Green Goblin is. And I feel like in the back of our minds, we've all said it, but didn't want to say it out loud because it'd be too ridiculous. And it's ridiculous in a great way. The Green Goblin's actually female, and she's Liz Allen. Yeah, one thing I want to say, I've actually been a, Liz Allen fan. I mean, not a humongous Liz Allen fan, but I like that she's this dark horse that you can utilize her character in different ways. Ultimate Universe, they did that, made her a mutant, made her the daughter of Blob. I think she's had some of the greatest stories in the Ultimate Universe, in my opinion. Read Ultimate X, loved that series, and read, I don't remember which issues it was, but I actually have to reread those, I love them. Anyways, the issues where she becomes a mutant, it's in Ultimate Spider-Man, the original Ultimate Spider-Man. So Liz Allen in general, the point is, has some shocking stuff. So in this Superior Spider-Man, I feel like in this regular universe, she's a cool character. She married Harry, she's been in the Goblin stuff before, but she hasn't been Green Goblin, obviously. And to take over Green Goblin and be that smart to figure out that Peter is Dr. Octopus, it really has me scratching my head. How's that possible? And I really want to see this origin story. Hopefully in the next issue, find out how this actually happened, of how she's Green Goblin. I think that's really interesting. What made her go on this path? It is her forest son, but what made her go so crazy to say, hey, let me become a Green Goblin and take over the world? How did Liz Allen become that? I'm really excited to see that. And as an MCT Universe fan, it's weird because Normie actually stopped becoming the Green Goblin because May mentions, hey, how about your mother? How about, would your mother respect this? Yeah, now she would. In the regular universe, she would. How much the regular universe has changed since just a couple of years ago. So I thought that was kind of a funny, ironic thing to see. But yeah, her being Green Goblin really shocked me here. Really, I think one of the reasons that made it pick of the week. Now, what made it really pick of the week here was the reveal in the end where Dr. Octopus says, hey, I love Anna Marie, and I believe that I can't do it. You were always the one to do it, and I realize that now. After being in your shoes, you're Peter Parker, the best Peter. So Peter gets all his memories back, which is great. So I don't think he'll have the amnesia with Amazing Spider-Man. Hopefully, what my guess is, maybe we'll have that one more day thing going on, where he'll remember one more day. Mary Jane doesn't, but Mary Jane's with the firefighter and all the shit she's gone through with Superior Spider-Man. She might deny Peter, but he has all these memories. That would be great if they did that. So, they're not married, but that could happen as a Mary Jane fan, who knows. Maybe that's the twist. That'd be an awesome twist. So I would like to see that. Don't think it's going to happen, but that's just kind of a crazy theory, but Liz Allen's Green Goblin, so who knows what's going to happen anymore. But yeah, so he has all his memories back, and he's ready. Puts on the web shooters and says, hey, I'm ready. I am going to be Spider-Man again and save the world once again. And Dr. Octopus accepts that because he doesn't want to lose the love of his life. Now, why didn't it get 5 stars this issue? Just kind of some tidbits I didn't love. Is the Spider-Man 2009 stuff could have been canceled out. I think they could have explained a little bit more of why Dr. Octopus didn't want to, really, he's been superior this whole time. It was pretty quick that he says, I'm not superior anymore. All right, Peter, here you go. So I think it was a little bit too quick. I think they could have taken a page or two of more monologue to explain himself a little bit more. Like, we know it's because of Anna Marie, but come on, you're an arrogant person. Like, tell me a little bit more why you changed. Especially since we were reading your series for like 30 issues. I want a little bit more of a monologue. Give me that. We're all reminiscent people here. Reminiscent people. I want more of that. So I was a little disappointed with that, but hey, Peter's back. Yeah, who cares? Alright, we don't need a monologue. Peter's back. So, love this issue. It was great. Those 2 reveals made the issue for me. I could talk about it forever. Yeah, I'm just really happy. This is my pick of the week. Loved it. Also, you got a bonus Black Widow here, so you're also getting more for your buck. So, if you didn't read Black Widow, I did. Obviously, didn't read it again because I read it already. But if you haven't read it, give it a chance. See if you like it. I think it was a really smart move to have it in Superior Spider-Man. So, I like that they did that and gave it for free. I love the word free, so why not? So I love that issue. It's great. I'm going to give it 4.5. I'm sorry I can't give it 5 stars just because there are some little tidbits I couldn't get to 5 stars because of that. But still pick of the week. Love the issue and can't wait till the next issue. I'm so excited. I just love what they're doing with Spider-Man right now. So I'm excited. But tell me in the comments below what you thought about this week's comics. Was your worst pick of the week, best pick of the week? Did you get as many comics as me? I know a lot of people down in the comments get even more comics than me, or even less comics. We all have a different pull list. But hope you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno and Comic Frontline. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno and the right situations. And don't forget to like my Facebook page. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.